Hi, good morning. Good morning, all. Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are glad that you have joined us today for the session on Acronis for Microsoft 365. So, as you know, Acronis is one of the most secure data protection solutions that are available on the market today. So, let's explore how well we can utilize Acronis to protect our data in the Microsoft 365. Our speaker today is Sorin Toma, the Sales Enablement Manager at Crayon. Sorin will guide us through Acronis, its features, and demonstrate how it is integrated to protect our data. Okay, so let's go ahead. Sorin, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arya, and I would like to thank everyone for making the time to attend today's session. I'm being joined by my colleague Suhas, who is a technical solution engineer within Acronis. For the next 45 minutes, we will structure this session, this training, if you want, into parts. I will be covering the first part with explaining a bit the Acronis coverage for Microsoft 365 backup. I'm going to give you a bit of insights into why Acronis backup is a must on top of Microsoft 365 applications. What you can back up, how you can recover, what are the 6 benefits, why we do recommend Acronis backup on top of Microsoft 365 applications in detriment of any other backup vendor out there in the market. And my colleague Suhash will be covering the second part of today's presentation, which should be the most interesting one for you, because he will give you a glimpse into the web console, the Acronis management portal, where the service providers are managing the end customers from. He will be able to demoing for you how to perform a backup, how to perform recovery, how you can recover a deleted item, files, folders, email attachments, and so on. And to that effect, we're going to be asking you to pay attention, asking questions, because this session is designed for you. So any curiosities, any concerns, any clarifications needed, we are here at your disposal today. So with no further ado, what I can share now on your screen is basically Acronis in one slide, one photo, one picture, if you may. And as Arya mentioned, we do believe that Acronis can be a differentiator for you. Why? Because it comes in as a single solution with multiple capabilities, allowing you to add protection services to your existing offerings in an easy and very flexible way. What you can see in the middle of this igloo under the naming consideration of standard product is basically backup pay as you go, right? Backup used to be the core business for Acronis for the past 22 years. In terms of what it can be backed up, we support backup for more than 25 plus workload types, from infrastructure to software as a service applications. For operating systems, we support backup for Windows, Linux, Mac OS. For virtualization platforms, we support VMware, backup for Hyper-V, Red Hat virtualization, Linux KVM, Citrix, Virtuoso, Nutanix, Scale Computing. For applications, Microsoft SQL, Exchange, SharePoint, Oracle databases, SAP for HANA, MySQL, MariaDB, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace. For cloud infrastructure, Amazon EC2 and Microsoft Azure cloud instances. Why? So that you have a broad choice of workloads to provide backup services for, and to act as what we would like you to envision Acronis as, single point, unique point of service, one-stop shop. Meaning that together with the backup, what you can see in the middle of this igloo, we were adding management features, we were adding security features, we were adding device control and disaster recovery totally free of charge, so that you don't have to pay for them anything additionally. So from the moment you will enable the backup component, you are getting much more than backup, right? Why were we adding these features on top of the backup? In order for you to be able to compare with other backup vendors, right? Just to identify the adding value. In order for you to justify in some situations why Acronis backup can be a bit more expensive than other local backup vendors. And secondly, because for instance, if we have to take the management features under consideration, you have enabled the backup for one of the end customers, backing up Microsoft 365 or backing up, I don't know, servers, workstations, web hosting servers, and so on. The management features, remote desktop and assistance, hardware inventory, centralized plans management, and device discovery are meant to help you, the service providers, from a proactive standpoint. For instance, remote desktop and assistance, I will be able to remotely connect, remotely troubleshoot anything on that particular managed workload if I have only and previously enabled the backup. Remote desktop and assistance through RDP connection is totally free of charge, included, incorporated into the backup component for me. Hardware inventory, very, very intuitive. I can perform a report of all the hardware assets on all my endpoints devices managed. Then if we switch to the security ones, the CyberFit score. The CyberFit score is incorporated into the backup. I'm having backup enabled for 5 end users, 5 workstations, and we give you an overall score to see how protected those are. If they are poor, if they are fair, if they are good or excellent protected, based on some metrics, some analysis. If they have backup enabled, for instance, if they have anti-malware installed, if they have firewall in place, if they have hard drive encrypted. And it's not only about assessing, it's not only about letting you know how protected they are, but it's also about translating into suggestions. So the CyberFit score, from the moment I have enabled only the backup for those 5 endpoints devices, assesses, scores a set of security metrics to identify gaps in my IT environments, my end customers' endpoints, and then makes recommendations to me on how I can improve the organization security posture. Vulnerability assessment is meant to help me to discover an issue before it happens. I have previously enabled backup for 5 endpoints devices, 5 end users. Simultaneously, if each one of those end users, those workstations, they have third-party apps for Windows and Mac OS, we've got the ability to scan different sets of vulnerabilities so that you can go and let them know where are they being vulnerable. We can scan Windows machines, Microsoft products, third party, then you can patch them and potentially prevent attacks. So this is just very, very briefly, in a nutshell, what are you getting only with the backup component. Now, if we have to talk about deployment models, another differentiator, a benefit from Acronis to you. Backups can be stored on a variety of storage options so that you can meet your data sovereignty and your cost requirements as well. These include on-premise, local disks, network shares, um, cloud data centers, as the ones Acronis has in India, two of them, 56 worldwide. Then you can choose for storing the backups Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, any of the third-party public cloud vendors here. This gives you the freedom to use different types of storage, differentiated services, freedom, flexibility to choose your own storage depending on regulations, compliance, or even your preferences. Now, when it comes to Microsoft 365, this is what we can cover with our backup: Exchange Online, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Microsoft Teams. The process is very, very simple. What does it mean for me? It means that data is being backed up cloud to cloud, which transfers the data automatically from Microsoft Azure data centers to Acronis data centers. And this is how the process looks like. If I'm a service provider and I'm working with an end customer having 100 Microsoft 365 users or needing backup for 100 mailboxes, the only thing I need from the end customer side is the credentials of the global admin. So within the web console, and Suhas will be showing you in a bit, I'm going to create an organization, if you want, a tenant, an end customer. And after creating it, I will need those Microsoft account domain credentials, username and password from the end customer side, so that the import to be done automatically. So the synchronization will be done within minutes without the need for me to manually operate or to perform any on-premise installation or so on. I was mentioning about 6 benefits. Why Acronis backup on top of Microsoft 365 applications? But before doing so, I would like to read loud for you a public statement. This is Microsoft public website. On the left-hand side, service availability, section 6B, probably, I don't know how many of you are aware about this recommendation public statement, but I'm going to read it loud for everyone just to bring you up to speed and have the same understanding from the moment you, being a Microsoft partner or your end customers purchasing Microsoft software. This is what Microsoft recommends on their public website. We strive to keep the services up and running. However, all online services suffer occasional disruptions and outages. And Microsoft is not liable for any disruption or loss you may suffer as a result. So they don't want to be held accountable. In the event of an outage, you may not be able to retrieve your content or data that you have stored. We Microsoft recommend that you regularly back up your content and data that you store on the services or store using third-party apps and services. So I'm gonna take it from here and ping it here in the chat box. Now, in the light of this kind recommendation, 50% of the Microsoft Business customers contracted third-party backup solutions last year. There were discovered 13,000 vulnerabilities into the Microsoft software. 8 out of 10 most exploited software vulnerabilities involved Microsoft software last year. Now, everybody is talking about the CrowdStrike crisis that happened in August, but Microsoft 365 latest outage. But many are neglecting that Microsoft also, as you could see, September 12th, 2024. Cloud-based productivity software suite, which includes Word, Excel, and Teams, has recovered after an outage impacted thousands of users on Thursday. The company has said a change within a third-party internet service providers managed environment resulted in an impact. The outage comes nearly 2 months after a faulty software update from CrowdStrike. We experienced a brief disruption connecting to some Microsoft services. The issue has been resolved. Connections are operating normally. Incident reports for Microsoft 365 fell to about 800 after having peaked at more than 23,000 earlier that day. Microsoft 365, Azure, Teams, and so on. August outage. So August 1st, 2024. Microsoft says latest outage was caused by cyber attack. India today. Microsoft confirms that DDoS attack caused the recent Microsoft Office outage. Distributed denial of service. So the month, the outage, the month, the outage, August, September. Microsoft Entra, Intune, Power BI, and Azure App Services. The incident started in the afternoon, 5 p.m., and lasted until 1 a.m. Can we afford that when backing up our end customers' data? I'm going to share it with you as well. Now, why Acronis backup in detriment of any other vendor? First of all, I was mentioning the deployment models that at any point in time you can choose Acronis data centers for storing the backups. You can choose third-party public cloud vendors. You can choose on-premise. It's up to you. But from the moment you choose to retaining the backups with Acronis, you'll get first of all free of choice. What does it mean free of choice? If you want to retaining the Microsoft 365 data backups for 2 months, 2 years, 12 years, or even infinitely, with Acronis, you've got freedom, unlimited retention policies. It's up to you, even if you want to keep them infinitely. Then, how does that translate for you? From the moment you set up the retention period for a specific range, once again, 1 year, 6 months, or 10 years, any email deleted, any Office 365 item, files, folder, will be recovered directly from the backup storage. So if I'm the end user, by accident, it can happen, or by intention, because I know that I will leave the company in 2 weeks from now. I work in procurement, and I'm having, I don't know, or in the legal department. I do know that an email with a crucial information, with an attachment, with a contract, with an invoice is important for my employer. I'm bad intentioned employee, and I'm going to delete it. When that particular employer and customer will come to the service provider, myself as a service provider, I will be able to recover that deleted item, that deleted email directly from the backup storage. If it happened 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or 2 years ago. The only constraint is just for me to have the retention period set for 2 years. So fast recovery, even if the Microsoft 365 retention period has expired, if I only have the backup enabled on top of that user, on top of that mailbox. So quick, powerful search functionality through the Acronis backup storage. Cloud-to-cloud solution, nothing to install. Point-in-time recovery, individual sites, files, or just the entire sites. And for each one of the protection plans on Microsoft 365, you can set up encryption, or you can set up two-factor authentication as well.
May I ask you
So,
one thing? Is this a
yes,
free?
go ahead.
Is this a free access or is this a paid one?
Free access to what exactly?
Actually, Microsoft 365 is asking yearly payments now. So some things.
So, okay, let me go to what exactly. So this is exactly what Suhas will demo for you in a bit. For Microsoft Exchange Online, this is what you can back up: emails, attachments, contacts, tasks, events, group mailboxes, archived mailboxes, and calendars. This is how it looks. And then this is what you can recover. This is chargeable. So if you have one email, if you have one user, Microsoft 365 user, to be backed up with Acronis, you will be charged. You will enable backup on top of that user or on top of that email. And for backing up and recovery, you will be charged. You will be paying. The same for OneDrive, SharePoint, and Microsoft Teams. But not sure what do we mean by free, because from the moment you will choose to back up Microsoft 365 applications, Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive, you will be charged for backing them up. I think it's around $2 or something like this for per seat, per license. Storage, if you choose Acronis data centers in India for storing those backups, yes, storage is unlimited, free. You don't get to pay for it. But you will pay per seat. You will pay per license or per user, if you may. Now, we were discussing about cloud-to-cloud backup. So with the cloud agent, as I did mention, you can back up all the 4 apps: Exchange Online, SharePoint, OneDrive and Teams. This is how it looks like within the web console. This is the process, the user guide. We will put it at your disposal, no problem. And Suhas will be showing you step by step now, reflected within the web console. You can choose how many backups you would like to have a day, the regularity. 6 times a day is the maximum. But when it comes to on-prem, so using the local agent, we can only back up mailboxes, right? So for on-premise, with the local agent, you can back up user and shared mailboxes. The other 3 are not available. What items can be recovered from a backup with local agent? Mailboxes, email folders, email messages, calendar events, tasks, contacts, and notes. Now, Suhas, over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Soren. Hello, everyone. Very good morning. So let me introduce myself, Suhas. I'm a solution engineer from Acronis. So basically, next 15 to 20 minutes, we'll get to see the product in action. Soren, I hope you're able to see the screen.
Yes, it is visible to everyone.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, basically, this is the HTML web-based console. We do have our data center in India that is based out of Mumbai. We will be providing the cloud console and the backup storage from that particular data center. And apart from this, if you're doing business outside the country, we do have more than 56 data centers across the globe. You can pick and choose for the GDPR purpose. And as a end customer administrator, if I log in, we'll land up in this page. At a glance, I can see what and all the capacity we have consumed, what and all the backups got successfully completed or failed, what is the compression ratio we are getting, and it's a consolidated solution. We have backup, we have security, we have email security, we have DLP, disaster recovery. With respect to that, I can add multiple widgets and customize this dashboard according to my convenience so that at a glance, I will be able to see all the features. Then it's an agent-based solution. Here we need to install the agent in the required devices. So basically, we do support backup for workstation level Windows and Mac, server level Windows and Linux. Mobile device data can be protected. Here we do support backup of your iOS, Android. Basically, from these devices, we will be able to backup photos, videos, contacts, calendars, and messages. And virtualization platform, most of the virtualization platform is supported. VMware, Virtuoso, Hyper-V. Even something like VMware Workstation is not listed here. You might be using Proxmox, some other virtualization platform. Basically, if there is a supported operating system, and if I can install the agent in that, we will be able to back up that and we will be able to protect that particular VM. And we also have a agentless backup available for the Azure virtual infrastructure. We'll be able to back up all those Azure virtual machines. AWS is coming up very soon. And then for Synology NAS, we have an agent, but this is not limited to Synology NAS. You are having QNAP, Netgear, Isilon, NetApp. We can back up those network shares through a Windows agent. And application aware backup is supported for M365. So here basically we can back up the mailbox, OneDrive, SharePoint sites, and Teams. Email archive, this is currently in early access program. This is kind of CDP. Basically, as and when I receive the mail, automatically it will be backed up immediately. So this is in the early access program. Very soon this will be live. And we can also back up Google Workspace. Here we will be able to back up the mailbox, Google Drive, and shared drive data. Earlier, there was a question about the database support. Here we do support backup for MS SQL. We have an agent. Through this, we will be able to do a live backup for the MS SQL databases. But in case if you are having Oracle, we do support Oracle also. Maybe if you're having MySQL, MariaDB running on top of Linux-based machines, we can back up those with the entire machine. Recovery can be granular, but we can do entire image level backup for that. We also support for SAP HANA as well. So this is the agent coverage. and we need to install the agent in the required devices. Once we install the agents, we'll get to see all the devices here, and we can go ahead and create the protection plan. So here I can add multiple device, create a dedicated plan for particular device. It's all up to your ease of use. We can back up entire machine, disk and volume, file and folder, or at application level, we can create the plan. Where to back up the destination. The storage options are flexible here. You can back up to Acronis cloud storage. You can back up to your own network share, local folder, or if you are having your own third-party cloud storages, you will be able to back up to AWS, Azure, Wasabi Cloud, S3 compatible, Impossible Cloud, or basically any other cloud which supports S3 protocol. And one advantage, if you go with Acronis cloud storage, we don't charge for the egress and ingress, that data outgoing and incoming. We don't charge for the networking part. We will charge you only for the capacity you consume on our cloud storage. So that is an added advantage. And it can be scheduled. You can retain as per your requirement. We can encrypt the backups. We can do a application aware backup. So along with the backup, we do support compression, deduplication, and encryption. So the data will be secured and you can expect some space savings. So this is the protection plan for our endpoints, servers, and virtual machines. And EDR is basically endpoint detection and response. Here we have antivirus and ransomware protection feature. Based on the behavioral analysis, if any suspicious process trying to encrypt the file, it can identify that, it can stop that process. As and when I turn on my laptop, my antivirus service or active protection service will be turned on immediately. And if any suspicious process comes in and if it tries to encrypt anything, immediately it will stop that, and whatever those 2-3 files which got encrypted, that will be reverted from the memory. So this is basically the ransomware protection feature. Exploit prevention, basically for the zero-day attacks, here we'll get memory protection, return-oriented program, privilege escalation, code injection, and real-time protection is basically to protect the day-to-day activities. We will be plugging a lot of USBs. We will be opening a lot of files. We are getting a mails, and in the mail there is attachment of Word or Excel file.
ಭಯ್ಯ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದ ಮಗು ಸ್ಕೂಲಿಂದು ನೀನೇ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬರ್ತೀಯಾ ಸರಿ
So
ಏನೋ ಕೇಳ್ದ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ದ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿ
so yeah, this is basically to protect the
So Has, you are not audible anymore.
Sorry, and I was on
Yep.
mute. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, this is about the exploit prevention. So basically here we'll get memory protection, return-oriented program, privilege escalation, and code injection. And we have this real-time protection, basically smart on access. I will be opening a lot of files. I will be getting a mail. In the mail, there is attachment of Word or Excel file. If I open that, it might download a macro, and through that we might get a threat that can be identified. So this is our antivirus. Here we have participated in many individual test labs like VB100, AV test labs, where we are able to identify 100% of the threats with 0 false positives. And along with this, we'll get a URL filtering. We can categorize what I want to allow to browse, what I want to deny, and we will get a vulnerability assessment. Based on the schedule, it will scan the system and it will come up with a list of vulnerabilities based on the CVE score. And that can be updated. Patches can be updated for Microsoft and third-party applications. And we have a pre-update backup. It will take an entire image level backup before performing the patch management. Another advantage is that we will not allow the patch management job to run until and unless the backup is not completed. So maybe if you require in-depth details about this, we can have a separate session. Coming back to our topic today for M365. So how do I integrate with my M365 account? For cloud to cloud, it's very simple. If I click this, it will take me to my M365 website. Here I need to log in with my global admin credential, provide the required access rights. Then it will import all my user SharePoint sites, teams, console. It will create its own group. So here it will import all the users. What on all the team sites we have created, it will import everything. It will import all the sites. So now we need to decide what data I want to back up. So you can select the particular users. I want to sorry, I want to back up something for this user, I can create a plan. Here I can decide what data I want to back up, whether I want to back up mailbox or OneDrive. I want to back up mailbox, you can select that. Where to back up the destination will be Acronis Cloud Storage. Schedule, we can run backups 6 times per day. That is every 4-hour interval, it will run the backup. Depending on the requirement, you can pick and choose. And then retention, this is up to you. How long you want to retain, daily, weekly, monthly, or I want to keep all the backups for 7 years, 10 years, depending on your requirement, you can fine tune this. Or we also have an option to keep it infinitely as well. So that as a backup tool, we don't delete any backups at all. This is about the retention. We can include the archive mailbox. If you have used that M365 native tool to archive, we can include that archive mailbox also. And for security reasons, maybe if you're backing up CEOs, CTOs mailbox, they don't want the admin to see the mail. So in those cases, you can ask them to enter an encryption password here. But one thing to remember here, basically, we need to maintain this password because there is no forget password option, and this password is required for the data recovery. It's an optional feature. By default, the backup will be encrypted in both data in transit and in rest. But if you want to add on additional encryption, you can enable that here. So this is basically for mailbox. Same way for OneDrive. I can go inside the OneDrive. I can select what I want to backup. I'll be able to select the granular files and folders. Or maybe based on the file extension, I want to backup only my Word file. We can keep on adding the extensions. To backup PDF, I want to backup docx, Excel. We can keep on adding the extension. There is no restriction on that. So it will back up only these files from the OneDrive account. I'm sorry, just allow me a minute. Yeah, I'm really sorry for that. So here, yeah, basically for OneDrive, I can select what I want to backup. We can increase the number of backups per day. We can set the retention. We can encrypt. So now coming to the site, same way I can select the site. I want to backup this. I can create a plan. Again, I will add what I want to backup. Either I will browse, I can select, or based on the file extension, I will backup. We will set the retention. So now basically if the user deletes a mail, let me go ahead to my inbox and delete something here. The user has deleted the mail. He has deleted from the deleted items also. So if I don't have a backup, I need to log into my M365 account and then recover that. That's a tedious task. So in case if we have a backup, I can come back to my inbox. I can select the particular user. We can search. So I can go back to my recovery point in time. I can select that, but I want to here also I can sort out. I want to see only my M365 mailbox recovery points. From the latest backup, I want to recover that particular deleted mail. Here I will get an option to search. We can do a keyword search. We can add some more context to this, basically from to attachments, date and all. But mail is readily available here. I can select this. I can recover to the same user or to a different user. I just want this to be restored on the original location to the same user. Maybe if this user has left the organization, I can select different user and I can restore it to his account. So I'm restoring to my same mailbox. I don't want to overwrite anything, so I will just restore this. We can give it some time so that this mail will be visible in my mailbox. So this is the granular recovery. Maybe if I want to recover the entire mailbox, we have options for that. So we can recover the entire mailbox. This user has left the organization. I can restore it on someone else. So basically, if I go with David Blaine or David McIntosh, David will be having his own inbox and items drafts, and it will create another account. Suhas inbox and items drafts. This is basically for the entire mailbox recovery. And in case if I want to restore it as a PST, I just need to provide a password encryption password here. I will get a link to download this and we can directly open this in the Outlook. So this is basically for the granular recovery of mailbox. If I want to recover OneDrive, here I will get to see the OneDrive options. So basically I can go inside this. I can recover the OneDrive with sharing permissions to different users, or I can go inside this. I can select the particular file, download it to the same user, or we can recover it to the same user or to a different user. This is the granular recovery options. And coming to the SharePoint sites, or maybe you have migrated out of M365, still my backups are available here. From here, I will be able to recover. I can go to my cloud application backups. I will get to see all my mailbox, OneDrive, SharePoint sites, recovery point. Let me select one of the team site here. I will get the recovery option. So basically, go backups. I can go inside this. I can recover the entire site, or I can go to the documents folder and I can granularly recover it. This is the site I can select. I can recover the entire site to the same site or to a different site, or granularly, I don't want to recover the site. One file got deleted, I can go to my documents folder where I will get to see all my files. I can restore this to a same site or to a different site with permissions, without permissions. So this is for SharePoint sites. Same way for Teams, you'll get different options. So Teams will get options to recover it as a channel, as a mail. Here I can show backups and recover entire team. So same site or to a different site. If I go to channels, we will get to see the options. So basically, here we'll get the chat and what on all the files they have shared. We'll get to see that, and I can select and I can restore this. The entire channel can be recovered for this. And this is basically for the M365 workload backup and recovery point. And PST files. This I can directly download. I can just provide the credential and download this and open with the Outlook. And now we did a recovery of a single mail. I just my mail is back here. And apart from this, we'll get reporting, alerting as and when the backup successfully completes or fails, we'll get an alert. Yeah, that's it from my end for M365 workload. If you have any queries, any other thing, please.
Okay, that's it, Suhas?
Yeah.
Okay, Arya.
Yes,
If there are any other questions, clarifications needed before
nothing
we
from my
wrap up.
end. Yeah, do you have any other questions, team? Anybody? Okay, so we can wind up, I think. Right,
Okay.
Soren?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sure thing.
Okay, so thank you, Soren, and thank you all for attending today's session. And we hope this session is very informative for you. And also, big thanks to Soren for sharing your expertise on Acronis, and also special thanks to Suhas for walking us through the practical usages of this Acronis throughout our Microsoft 365 Mailbox and OneDrive. Okay, so appreciate all your participation, the entire everybody who joined us today. So thank you all. And if you have any queries or need any further information related to Acronis or Microsoft 365, you can reach out to us with with an email. You can share it to 365@codelattice.com. 365@codelattice.com. Yeah.
Arya, 1 minute. There is
Yes.
one query in that chat box. Can you check
Okay.
that?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Do we
This I
have?
already addressed while showing the agents. Yes, we do support SAP HANA and DB backup for MS SQL, Oracle, and MySQL MariaDB and SAP. For SQL, MS SQL, we have an agent, but other than that, we have to do a image level backup. but we can do granular recovery for these databases, Oracle, SAP, and MySQL, MariaDB on Linux machine.
Is that possible for HANA DB?
Yes, yes.
So Bipin will connect for more details with you. HANA DB backup, is it possible? Whether it is possible in a SUSE clustered environment, like two systems, bare metal servers will be there with HANA DB running on that. Size also will be huge. Whether the image level or VM kind of backup is possible for physical machine with HANA DB. That's our query.
Yeah, sure. We may need some more detail, the OS file system and all. We can connect later.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Take care. See you on
Thank
to the
you.
next one. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you, Soren. Thank you, Suhas. Thank you all.